Cheers, my loves. I hope that all of you are doing really well. And in this video, I want to give you perspective as to why you almost never should allow people, at least people that you have any doubt whatsoever, about their positive ownership of you and how much on your side they are and how much they love you and how well they wish you. Do not let people humble you. Understand that a lot of the times when people are humbling you, what is bothering them is not your attitude, is not your arrogance. What is bothering them is your light, is what you have that is enviable, because they're envious, because you are shining too bright. And at that moment in time, it is triggering their demons. They don't feel capable of shining that bright. And their solution to this issue is to bring you down. Consider, if you have something very valuable, if you have a treasure, would you just leave that treasure in the open for everybody to see? For anybody to be able to take a piece of it, to play with it? Or would you protect that treasure? You have a treasure. You know what your treasure is. Maybe you're very kind. Maybe you're very intelligent. Maybe you're very talented. Maybe you're very beautiful. Maybe you're very wealthy. But you have a treasure. And in order for that treasure to be safe in you, you must protect that treasure. Which means that you need something menacing. You need an attitude that isn't always nice, that isn't welcoming to anybody, that isn't devoid of boundaries. In order to protect that treasure, you need the boundaries, you need the standards, you need the rules, you need the regulations, and you need your teeth, and you need your nails, and you need your attitude, because you're not going to allow anybody to feel like they have the right to take this from you, or they're a judge who gets to decide whether you get to have a gift that is already yours, or whether you don't get to have it. Absolutely not. Recognize that a lot of the humbling that we face is simply a manipulation tactic. Now, I see a lot of this from women who are used to, for one reason or another, getting a lot of envy from other women. And then they choose themselves a friend who seems like they're not particularly menacing. But here's what I want you to watch out for. These friends that you have, both male and female, if you have something bad happen to them in your life and you tell them about that thing, watch right away. Watch just for the next few seconds their micro expressions on their face. Do you see a little smile or big smile? Do you see a little smirk? You know that's not your friend, right? Are you being mean when you're not allowing yourself to be humbled with the wrong people who don't have your back? No. And let's talk about the tactics that men use to humble women. We talked about toxic masculine energy and toxic feminine energy, or dark masculine energy and dark feminine energy. We're going to talk more about the healthy kind and the wholesome kind. But what about people who are incorrectly polarized? What about feminine men? What about weak men, which is what feminine men are? What about cowardly men? These are men who, instead of feeling a responsibility to women, a natural inclination to take positive ownership of women, see women as competition, compete with them, feel menaced by them, feel threatened by their woman, want to bring them down in order to feel like the macho. Do you know what the signs are of this man trying to humble you? Not for your own good, but so that he can try to assuage his insecurities, he can try to elevate himself at your expense. What about the negging? What do you think that is, if not a psychological manipulation tactic? What about those backhanded compliments that portray you as less than what you actually are? That give you a slight as they give you a compliment? What about the triangulation? What about the fact that they need to point out potential competition to you all the time, not because they actually are interested in this person or are interested in that person, but to make you feel insecure, to aggrandize themselves, to feed on your reaction, on your need to show them that they're incorrect, on your need to chase their validation? What about the gaslighting, where he is questioning your reality? What about the other ways he tries to make you feel unimportant? Special occasions, birthdays, family meetings, where you cannot be assigned a certain degree of importance. And these are all forms of disrespect. And I want you to ask yourself, what is respect? Respect is a word that people use to fill in the gap where love should have been. And yet you find yourselves in relationships with these people and you tell yourselves that they know how lucky they are. You know you settled, right? You know that when you settle for a person, the person doesn't feel lucky. What the person feels is resentful. Resentful of you. He hates you. He doesn't love you, he hates you. He loves your resources and he hates you. And he's not trying to humble you for your own good or to save the relationship. It is a form of passive aggression, because open aggression would immediately lead you to end the relationship, because you would understand what you're looking at. But when it is covert, when it is passive, you don't recognize it because you're used to recognizing envy in other women. Are you used to recognizing envy in men? Nobody gets to humble you. You need the teeth. You need the claws. You know what you have. And you know that when you have something special, when you have something valuable, when you have something different, you want to protect it and you don't let in people who don't have your back. You know what those people will do? They will take all of your resources from you. They will humble you. They will minimize you. They will bring you down. And then they will find somebody even less than them. Somebody mediocre, and they will go impress that person with your resources. And believe me when I tell you, it will not matter one bit to them that this person doesn't hold a candle to you. As a friend, as a partner, it won't matter because it's about them. When you think of people, unless you've really tested someone, understand that it's almost always about them. When somebody is humbling you, are you sure that they have your back? What for do they need you to be less than what you're capable of being? Can you truly minimize your light enough? Efface yourself enough to make them feel secure? And do you owe anybody that? Should you be with that kind of person? There are a lot of people out there that are teaching this idea, and it seems so mature because they're so spiritual and mature, that chemistry, passion should not be a big factor of a relationship, of a romantic relationship. You should think with your head when you choose a partner. But there are things that our body knows and that our ego knows that aren't about us thinking with our head. Our ego recognizes when we perceive somebody as slightly better than us in an area, which is how they attract us, because in something we perceive them as a little bit better than us. And therefore we want to be together with them. It doesn't have to be in everything. It can be a mutually beneficial exchange. And you know where that chemistry and that passion isn't what it should be? When you don't perceive that in another person, when your ego is telling you that you are settling. And what you get from the other person isn't the realization of how lucky they are. What you get is resentment. Wouldn't you resent someone who thought that they're settling for you? Who are telling you that they love you and think that they're settling for you and you're extremely lucky? Would you continue telling them how much you love them and mean it? You should have that chemistry. You should have that passion. You should not humble yourself. Learn to be happy with your friends. Learn to be happy outside of a relationship. In fact, learn not to enter a relationship until you have options. Options to compare. Options to choose from. It shouldn't be just the one thing that you had going. Cheers, my loves. I wish you all a beautiful day, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.